All right, and that's the end of your news at 7. You on Morning Live headlines would follow at 7:30. Do remember that all eyes are in Parliament this evening for the official opening of the Parliament, the State of the Nation address to be delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Leanne is there this morning. Let us say good morning to her once again. Lee, it's over to you.
Baleka, yes, a very, very good morning to you again, and to South Africans. If you've just woken up and tuned in on this Friday morning, beautiful day as we broadcast you live from Parliament in Cape Town. There's such a very different feeling here, I have to tell you this year. You know, we've done the opening of Parliament and the State of the Nation addresses and the pre-broadcast for years and years and years, but for some reason, this year, I'm not sure. Everybody seems to be breathing a lot easier, and I'm not just talking about the normal person on the street. I'm talking about the politicians, who I'm talking to at the moment. And I think the one lady who might be breathing the biggest sigh of relief that perhaps things will be a bit more peaceful in the House is our National Assembly Speaker, Baleka Mbete. How are you feeling? You look bright and happy.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning, South Africans. I think, like everybody, there's a sigh of relief that the pressure that we have been feeling and the anxiety and the uncertainty is over. And nothing feels as good as knowing that we are back on track. It's all systems go. We are expecting our political program to be delivered by the new president in order that we can get on with the debate, we can get on with the budget speech on Wednesday, and we're all back to work in the way we normally do to process the budget votes. So all the work we need to do, as presented in the political speech tonight, is clearly what we're facing now for 2018.
Yeah. You know, I think I want to make this a little bit more of a sort of personal interview, because I think that it's been a very tough time for you these last few years, where I'm sure you've had sleepless nights, particularly the night before a sitting, especially when there's a Q&A with the president, and you know that the House is going to explode. There are going to be fistfights, water thrown, bottles thrown, opposition parties staging walkouts. I mean, how were you feeling the night before and at the time, just sitting there watching it unfold?
Well, you know, you've got to gear yourself, because somebody has to sit in that chair and make sure that you do the best you can to ensure there's order. But of course, in order for the House to be in order, there's a number of role players, and they've got to play their part in ensuring that generally in the House we have the right decorum, we have the right atmosphere of respect for the House itself, and we are, you know, respecting South Africans who are watching us, who expect us to be serious. So you think, you reflect on it, and you can only do the part you must do. You do, of course, in the various forums that parliamentarians cooperate in, where we plan together, where the whips from different parties discuss issues and, you know, hope for the best. But then, of course, the rest can only be experienced when it unfolds in the House. Yeah, so it's a relief to know that we shouldn't be expecting any more of that. Of course, anybody who wants to be chaotic can always, if they need to survive on that, you can only always hope to reason with them and make sure that other people are able to persuade them to do things more maturely. You heard President Ramaphosa yesterday saying we don't need to be screaming at each other. We need to cooperate to do the things that South Africans expect us to do. Yeah. And for the rest of the term, we should do better.
What about the EFF? I mean, they already started yesterday. Did that come as a surprise to you? Did you expect them to stage a walkout as well? Or did you think, oh, no, not again, here we go again?
Well, I watched their interview before we went into the house, and it's during that interview, their briefing, what they call the media briefing, that I thought, well, so now we are going through the DC processes and all those days ago, years ago, when in Luthuli House, the party was trying to contain its youth league leaders. So I just thought, well, really, it's up to South Africans. They should see whether, in fact, this party is representing us as a society, as a people.
I just want to ask you as well, because we've got probably about a minute left. This is the second time you've had to deal with the resignation of a president. In 2008, you also had to read out former President Thabo Mbeki's letter. Now, President Jacob Zuma. You know, this must be tough for you because you are involved, whether we like it or not. I mean, you are an ANC member, part of, the upper echelons of the party. And so it must also emotionally be difficult for you to have to deal with these issues.
To be honest, yes. You're a human being, and therefore you are participating in the discussions. I mean, the 13-hour meeting was a difficult one. It's always very sad. But, of course, what happens in politics is you must always keep in your mind the best interests of the country, the people, and therefore, while you are managing your own emotions, you must keep focused on what's best for South Africa. And therefore, when you keep order, it's also in keeping with the honor and the way our people have taught us to be respectful, to always know that they are the ones who have sent us in this place. So you have to just keep that balance in the place you have been put for the time you are supposed to play a particular role. So I'm honored that South Africans have entrusted some of us to try and help with the running of the affairs of our people.
Thank you. Thanks for talking to us, Madam Speaker Baleka Mbete, who talking to us here ahead of the State of the Nation address. And it's going to be a big evening, I can tell you that much. And I'm sure everything that you've been used to in the past, the winds of change are here, and perhaps they won't be as vigorous as they were before, but the pomp and ceremony and everything else will be the same. So let's take a break here on the program. We'll have more guests and views during the course of this hour.